as well as in our direct messages, to the point of now me getting personal text messages calling me a racist pig and more. So
the internet is dragging the living daylight out of a mom in Ohio because of her racist actions against an innocent black man after she falsely accused him of wanting to harm her and her kids. This fitness mom, who also sells supplements, lives in one of the posh neighborhoods in Ohio, and if there's one thing black people in rich neighborhoods have frequently complained about, it is the harassment they sometimes receive from their white neighbors who cannot believe that these black people actually have the money to afford to live in these neighborhoods. And because of that, they start suspecting these black people of being dangerous intruders. Anyway, this woman, who goes by the name Michelle Bishop, was taking a walk with her kids one night. But here's where it gets weird. Michelle walks up to a random neighbor's house and rings the doorbell. While she's doing that, Mike Jenkins, who is the black man in this scenario, pulls up to the same house, and for some reason this frightens Michelle. She begins to ask Mike if he lives in the neighborhood, and although he said yes, she instantly says she does not believe him. She then takes her kid and bolts out of there, screaming for help at the top of her lungs as she runs away.
what's going on? Do you live here?
Yeah.
You do?
Papa.
I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that.
You go ahead.
Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
Hey.
Did someone come here?
That was my wife. She got somebody chased.
Who chased her?
She said somebody in a
There was a
silver
guy
truck.
in a gray truck, and he came
So
around
she-
the corner,
I don't
and
know if you guys have a
I was
read.
in the street, and so I come up, and I just have my kids, and so I'm like gonna pretend that I'm coming home, and so I pull up and I start walking to your back gate, and he stops here and he goes, "Are you looking for someone?" And I said, "Nope," and then he sat here, and I was like, "I need to get in."
Well, that's my husband. That's why he lives here. Yeah.
Guy,
He lives here. So he came in and he said there's a lady screaming. And I'm like, that's...
she got all worried that some.
Scared the crap out of me.
How?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
How did he scare you,
I
though?
had a feel.
I just seen her in the driveway and I was like, are you looking for somebody? Because I was pulling up out
And I
home.
saw someone walking in our driveway, too. And I'm like, why is someone walking in our driveway?
I'm
Well,
sorry.
here we got it. All right, sorry.
What?
I don't.
She said that someone was following her. So you were walking from there?
You came this way, didn't you?
No, I came down this street right here.
Yeah.
And I was riding slow because I'm looking at our Christmas lights.
Well, you just have to understand my point of view. Being by myself with two kids, I just saw a car coming, and so I was like, oh, it scared me, and so I just pulled up here, and I kept thinking, this could be his house. But you didn't say, this is my home. You just said, are you looking? And I was like,
I did. When you was on the porch, you asked me, did I live here? I said, yeah.
And you said, no, you don't.
And you said, I don't think you do.
It was obviously, you could tell that I was really caught off guard.
Like, I'm pulling in my, it's like I'm pulling in my house. Like, this is not, this neighborhood is probably one of the best neighborhoods in Ohio.
It is.
You don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Well, I'm very sorry. I really hope that you're not upset with me.
Hey guys, if you've liked watching the video so far, please take a second to hit the subscribe button so I can keep making these videos for you guys. Thanks for subscribing. Now let's get back. Now, after watching that video, a lot of questions flooded my mind. By what parameters does she measure or determine who should be considered an acceptable member of her neighborhood? Because she took one look at this man and instantly decided that he could not possibly be telling the truth about being her neighbor, only for her to later realize that the same house she was ringing the doorbell at actually belongs to the man, who, mind you, is a real estate developer. So he did nothing wrong other than pull up to his own house, and her first response to that was to accuse him of lying, take off screaming, and then return with her husband to come harass the family. And when she was called out on her BS on social media, instead of apologizing, she said this.
I think there's a massive misunderstanding, and now I believe that there is an agenda that's being pushed, and my heart is crushed. I unfortunately have had to make all of my Instagram accounts, our business accounts, private because we are being really harshly attacked over there, as well as in our direct messages, to the point of now me getting personal text messages calling me a racist pig and more. So, yeah, we're being told to watch our back and all the things. For those of you guys who are telling me that I owe a public apology, one, I will not apologize for making any sort of racist remark. I am the furthest thing from a racist. I will, however, apologize that my expression could ever come across in such a way, or that somebody could think something of that nature of myself and my family. So Rory and I, a few nights prior, went on a run. So I went out and we're jogging, and I was on the back end of the neighborhood that's newer construction, and it's dark. There's not many lights back there. Like any of us have been taught, I think a lot of women have been taught, hey, if you ever, feel unsafe or you feel cars approaching, go to the closest house that is nearby and just pretend that it's yours. So that's exactly what I did. I see headlights. I don't even look to see what the car looks like. I just see headlights behind me, and I'm like, I gotta get us off the street. Didn't even think much of it. So I take my stroller and I get in the grass and go on the sidewalk, and the car starts to slow behind us. And, which I was like, okay, he's slowing down. So I'm walking forward and I tell Rory, hey, turn here. And so she turns, and I said, don't look back, but just turn here. And so she has no idea, what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, but she's walking up the sidewalk. And so the car continues to slow. I'm not looking backwards, but then I hear words say, can I help you with something? And it wasn't super friendly. It was, and I get it. Like, what are you doing? Like, can I help you with something? And I was like, oh my gosh, why is this person talking to me? Like, why is he at the bottom of the thing talking to me? And so I don't respond, and then I keep walking. And I push the jogger. The garage doors were open. The gates were open to the garage. And I remember thinking, praise God, somebody's home. So praise God, somebody's home. And by this time, I'm like, can you just drive away? Like, this is my house. And so I push my buggy up into the door just a little bit, and he says, can I help you with something? And I said, nope. And then I take my stroller and I start walking up the sidewalk to the front door. And I remember telling Rory, I'm like, hey, go. So I'm like, now walking down, and I'm turning up this driveway, and it says, are you looking for someone? And at this point, he's like further by the driveway, and I said, no. And he said a second time, are you looking for someone? And so it was becoming a little more stern. And I said, no. And so I'm taking the baby jogger and I am pushing it up the stairs. There's like a couple stairs to get up. So I awkwardly am pushing my jogger up these steps. And at this point, he had backed halfway into the driveway. And so I'm sitting there, and I try to keep my cool. I try to keep my calm. You can literally on a video see me heavy breathing in the Ring doorbell. And Rory rings the doorbell and nobody answers. And so I step back and I said, is this your home? And remember, it's dark, the street's not lit well, and I cannot see him well. And he goes, yes. And I said, I don't believe that it is. And he says, this is my house. And I said, I don't think that it is. And at that point, the only reason that I said that was because truly the awkward encounter of slowing up behind me, talking to us multiple times. I'm in this frantic state. It's late at night. I got my kids, my 2 babies. The lady at the door is not answering. There's no other homes that are well established. I mean, there's construction. It's a corner house. I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm on the front porch. This truck literally is halfway up the driveway. And I was like, my radar was like, nope, I don't think that this is your house. And so I said, I don't believe that this is your house. And so I'm starting to unbuckle cash, and I grab and I freak. I go, Rory, run. And so I take off the porch and I literally run as fast as I can, screaming at the top of my lung. I've never, ever, ever screamed the way that I screamed. And I'm running through the front yards of everybody, praying that the Ring doorbell would capture us. Finally, to get to a woman's house, I'm bang on the door. And at this point, I'm dialing 911, and I said, can I please come in? And the woman said, yes, come in. And so I'm staying there, I'm talking to the sheriff, and more than anything, I was not looking for him to come to my rescue at this point. My husband was going to come. I'm in this woman's house. The door is closed. And I tell the man, he said, do I need to come out? And I just said, no. I said, I was just calling to let you know that this just happened. My husband's going to come get me. And, he says, he asked me if I want him to come out, and I said no. And so the woman then, I was at her house, she literally asked me and said, she said, I don't know how to ask this. She goes, but was it a black man? Because she goes, it's a black family that lives there. And I said, no, I believe that this is a white man. He was a white man in a truck, a young white man is what I said. And she said, okay. She goes, because, that's a black family that lives there. And I said, no, I don't think that it was a black man. And then when my husband got there, I stood out front, and we're still trying to get the Ring doorbell footage of me talking to my husband. But he asked me again, he said, what house was it? And I said, it was this house right here. And he goes, are you sure it wasn't a black guy? He goes, because that's a black family. And I said, no, I don't believe that it was a black man. It was an innocent mistake. I felt really stupid. I absolutely was crushed, I felt like they thought I was stupid. I already felt stupid. I truly felt stupid.
Michelle, it did not occur to you that maybe the person driving up to the house you're trying to get into might actually be the owner of the house? I mean, even when he told you he lived there, you still did not believe him. And even when you walked away with your children, this man did not chase after you. He did not drive after you. So why were you screaming for help at the top of your lungs?
You can't live somewhere more than like 5 months and not run into your neighbors, especially if like you're someone that goes on a stroll every night. Like you would definitely notice the house that's right across the street from you. Right? It's the biggest house on the block. It's the bougiest house on the block. And this is why, with all of this information, I don't believe that white lady did not know that there was a black family living across the street from her. I'm a firm believer that whole little charade of whatever the fuck she did, that was purposeful. Like, I don't believe in coincidences like that. I don't believe that you just didn't know who your neighbor was, number one. Mind you, he's been living in the house that he built, that house, nicest one on the block, for 3 years. Okay, anyway. Like, you have kids, you haven't seen their kids? Like, I'm sorry, but kids typically have the same schedules. Like, they go to school or daycare or some shit. It's just not believable. Like, all of it just sounds like such a scheme and a lie in a nasty way that a racist was trying to get a black man. Like, just take 1 second and take a step back. It was giving her acting debut, and nobody fell for it. It's giving jealousy.
Well, you guys have met Michelle Bishop. What do you think about her? Was she really in danger, or is she just being a racist pig like people are calling her online? Let me know in the comments. That's where the video ends for today. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and turn your notifications on if you like my content and you want to see my next video. Until I come your way again, take care and bye-bye.